Valentine's Day is right around the corner and nothing says I love you like a homemade gift. So today I'm going to show you how to make 3 Valentine's Day desserts at home. So each of these 3 desserts is really easy to make. You can totally do it, and they're great for anyone, whether you're giving a gift to your special someone or a sibling or a parent or a friend. These will work for everybody. So for all 3 of these recipes, you're gonna need semi-sweet chocolate chips, and I am using the Enjoy Life brand, and at the store they only had the chocolate chunks. It doesn't really matter what size the chips are because we're gonna be melting them for all of the recipes. And the cool thing about this particular brand is that they are an allergen-free brand, and overall it just has a nice simple ingredients list, which I love. So as I mentioned, we are going to be melting the chocolate for all of these recipes, and you can use the double boiler method, or you can just melt them in the microwave, which is the way I like to do it. You just put it in there for 30 seconds, take it out, stir it around, and kind of repeat that until the chocolate is nice and melted. The first recipe we're going to make is chocolate dipped dried figs. So you're going to need 12 dried figs, 2 ounces of the chocolate chips melted, and something to put the figs on. So since we're only making 12, I'm using a small cutting board lined with wax paper or parchment paper. So to make these, it's really easy. All you do is grab your figs by their little stems and then dip them down into your melted chocolate. And then once you pull them out, you want to give them a little twirl, let any of the excess chocolate drip off, and then move them over to whatever you're going to be resting them on, and give them a little push just to make sure they get a nice flat foot and they don't fall over. And then you just repeat that with all of your figs, and then once they're done and all lined up, then you want to move them to the refrigerator and let them sit in there for at least 10 minutes or until the chocolate has hardened. And then once the chocolate is all set up, you are done, and you see you're left with these beautiful figs that are nicely coated in chocolate. They look really nice and fancy, but they take no time to make. On to the second recipe, which are chocolate almond clusters. So for this recipe, you're gonna need 1 cup of raw almonds, 8 ounces of the chocolate chips melted, sea salt, and you want one that is a flakier texture or a medium to large grind because we want it to be visible on the clusters, and a lined baking sheet. And for this one, I used parchment paper. So you're gonna take your melted chocolate and then add in your raw almonds, and then take a spoon or a spatula and mix those together until the almonds are all coated and evenly mixed in with the chocolate. Then using a spoon, you want to scoop out the almond and chocolate mixture and then just place it in little dollops on your lined baking sheet. And you're probably gonna have to get in here and use your fingers, so just make sure your hands are clean. Once you've got your clusters all dolloped onto your baking sheet, then you're gonna go in and sprinkle that sea salt on the top. And this is just a little bit, but it adds a really nice combo with the salty and sweet, and it also looks really pretty. Then you're gonna take them and pop them in the fridge, and you wanna leave them in there for at least 20 minutes or until they are nice and hardened. And once they have hardened, then you can take them out of the fridge, and you'll see that you have these beautiful chocolate almond clusters. They look so pretty and they really taste amazing. Now on to our third recipe, which is a heart-shaped peanut butter cup. So to make these, you're gonna need some sort of heart-shaped mold. These silicone molds are really nice. Now you can find these sorts of things at all kinds of craft stores. I got mine from Amazon Prime 2-day shipping. So if you want the exact one that I'm using, I will link it for you below the video so that you can go over there and get it for yourself. And because of the nature of different molds, the amounts for this recipe are going to be specific to my mold. So if you get a different mold, the amounts might be a little different, but the technique is exactly the same. So if you're using this mold, then you are going to need 10 ounces of chocolate chips melted, and for these chips, that's the entire bag, and about a 1/4 cup of creamy peanut butter. So to start out, you're going to fill your molds halfway up with the melted chocolate, and you can just spoon this in and eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exact. And you might see that some of the chocolate has come up on the edges of the mold or gotten drizzled on the top. That doesn't matter because we want this whole thing wrapped in chocolate anyways, so you can just leave that. You don't have to clean it up. And once you've got the mold all filled up, then you can pop that in your freezer for about 10 minutes. Once the 10 minutes is up, then you can take that mold out of the freezer, and we're gonna move on to the next step, which is adding in your peanut butter. Now for these molds, you're gonna use about a teaspoon of peanut butter per heart, but that's not exact. You don't have to measure it. You can just use a spoon and eyeball it because it doesn't have to be perfect. So using a spoon, you're gonna dollop the peanut butter into the center of each heart, and you want to be careful here to make sure that the peanut butter isn't seeping out to the edges, because we don't really want it to be visible on the outside if we can help it. We really want it to be wrapped up inside of the chocolate. And also it's important to note that you want to use a natural peanut butter here, because not only is it not gonna have a lot of the weird stuff that can be in other peanut butters, but it's also gonna be a little more liquidy, which means it's gonna flow off your spoon a whole lot easier. Now that we've got the peanut butter in our hearts, we can do our last step, which is to add on the top layer of chocolate. So just like we did the bottom layer, spoon that in, and you're gonna spoon it on top of the peanut butter and let it flow around the edges so it really covers the peanut butter and wraps it up inside of our little peanut butter cup hearts. And when you have all of your little hearts totally filled, then you just want to give it a little tap to smooth out the top of your chocolate so you don't have as many ripples and bumps. From here, you're going to take the mold and pop it back into the freezer so that the chocolates can finish hardening up, and you want to do this for about 30 minutes just to make sure that they're really solid. Once the peanut butter hearts have set up, then you can take them out of the freezer, and now it's time to remove them from the mold. And I like to do this on a cutting board so you have a place to put the chocolates as you take them out of the silicone. To remove the hearts from the mold, you want to kind of push from the bottom while also pulling down from the top. And I have to tell you, the first one is usually the most difficult to get out, just because the mold is going to be a lot less flexible because it's totally filled. As the chocolate starts to come out of the mold a little bit, you can grab it with your fingers and pull it out while always being gentle, of course. And then once the chocolate is out, you can push the mold back in. Then you just repeat this process, moving across the mold until all of your chocolates are out. And then you'll be left with these beautiful chocolate peanut butter hearts. I think they look so cool. And you might notice that with some of them, like this one right here, the peanut butter does seep to the edge, but it's not a huge deal because even if it goes to the edge, it still looks pretty. And here, all three of the chocolates all lined up, and you can choose to make one of these or you can make all three. And then you can either give them in like just a reusable food container with a nice bow on it and a really pretty card, or if you want to take it to the next level, you can go to a craft store and get a little tin, and you can use like really pretty Valentine's Day themed cupcake liners to make like the little cups for the individual chocolates and put them all in there. It's really up to you. So that's how to make 3 really easy and fun Valentine's Day chocolates. I hope you like this video, and let me know in the comments which one of these is your favorite. The chocolate dipped figs, the almond clusters, or the heart-shaped peanut butter cups. And if you're new to my channel and you want more healthy eating tips and nutrition info and recipes just like this one, make sure that you subscribe, because eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle really doesn't have to be complicated, and I want to show you how to do it. And if you're loving the free info here, but you're finding that you need something a little more personalized, don't forget that I do offer one-on-one sessions. So if you're interested in that, just let me know and we can get that set up for you. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.